And we're back. We're back because, man, look, I can handle some things. I just can't handle getting arguments on YouTube over comments. So, to this old fart, I'm not being mean. I'm not being mean calling him an old fart. That's his actual name. He's not the only one. There's like 3, maybe 4. 4 guys I've had to try to get them to understand what's going on. I've asked them questions. They won't answer any of my questions. They won't answer things in these comments. When I comment back to them, I'm asking them simple questions, they won't answer. They just keep going on and on and on. Normally I let it go. Not letting it go. Not letting it go. I put out a video, okay? Put out a video a year ago on a Skeeter owners tournament on Lake Fork about something that happened. Wasn't even that big of a deal. I was like, hey, it's not a big deal, but if nothing else, I can at least maybe help some guys, explain some things. I've had an overwhelming number of people comment on that video going, hey, I appreciate this. I'm new into fishing. I was kind of wondering about things like this. It was just a helpful thing. And I was letting them understand. I made the video. I made it really, really long. Okay. Right. Here's the video right here. So I made the video long for a reason. Okay. In this new age of social media and camera phones and all these things, right? It's bad, right? I don't know if I have to go into this too much, but y'all should know. You take a 20-second clip, right? And you can try to make someone look bad, right? Or there's always 2 sides of the story, all these things. Well, I tried to show the entire video, not just the little interaction, right? I tried to show everything leading up to it, everything past it. I showed the tournament on another video that had nothing to do with that. I mean, I tried to show the entire day, right? All the encounters we had, all of them were great. I explained why certain encounters, how we had them and what we looked for, all these small details that we went into this thing. And still, some people can't get it. So, if you get this video, dude, go ahead, turn it off. This ain't video, not for you. Chances are this video's 99.9% of people, it's not for you. It's for the 0.1% that I don't know if they just want to argue and they're probably too scared to admit they're wrong, or they want to be that guy, right? That guy that just, golly, right? Kind of like the guy in the video, kind of like that guy. They're not listening either. They're looking. It's funny. I make this long video and they take out 4 seconds of the video and that's all they comment on. And I'm like, there's a reason I gave you this long video to watch at. So here we go. I'm going to explain this really, really simple. Okay. You got a bank, right? And guys, this isn't a tournament, a big giant tournament with 1,000 boats in the lake. Which is still no excuse. There's still no this would imply if you were the only 2 boats on the lake. It's not a big deal. So you got 2 boats heading at the same direction down the bank. Okay. I hope y'all can see that. I hope my frame's wide enough. Okay. Now I'll throw in all this other stuff. I shouldn't have to, but I did not just all of a sudden pull up on this bank, right? I've been fishing down this bank for probably over a half a mile to 3/4 of a mile. Just going down the bank. Throwing at the bank. We were throwing swim jigs. That was our pattern, right? And we're going on 7 because we're power fishing. We're throwing fast. You have another guy fishing down the bank. The only reason I know he had been fishing down the bank, I can see him from a long ways away. Not only, I can see other boats fishing down the bank, right? Multiple people were all fishing down the bank. Some guys we passed. One guy didn't want us to pass us. We got close to each other and he turned around. No big deal. I ain't got a problem with that. So I went way around him. It was at the opening of a creek. So I went to the other side of the creek, right? And went around him because he didn't want to go past me. He wanted to keep going down that bank. No big deal. I get that. And for the record, there's nothing behind us. Some guys were fishing stumps pretty far out there. they weren't even like, they could care less where we were. Cause I mean, we're not even close to that. Like they don't care about us. Right. When I say us, not just our boat, everyone else, like all the other guys going down the bank, well, they ain't worried about us. We're not even, our boat's not even anywhere close to where they'd be casting. So they're out there fishing way further out there. We'd have to like bomb way on out there to cast on the other side. I'm never making a cast out there. I'm fishing the shoreline, like the bank. My boat's in like 6 foot of water. I'm going to catch them in like 2. There's no reason for me to throw out there. Now, as 2 boats come together, guys, this is the main point. This is the point I want you to listen to. If 2 points come together, so we don't hit, right? So the 2 boats don't hit. One of these guys has to decide and be the nice guy. I don't even want to say nice guy, just courteous, right? And go, hey, I'll go around you. 9 times out of 10, it's 99 times out of 100. It's just like, hey, I'll go around. Like it'll be the first person. We were going fast, like going down the bank fast. Hey man, I'll put it on 10, go around you. Like no big deal. I had other guys that say, hey, we'll go around. I mean, we had it in this last term this past weekend where a guy was like, hey, I'll go around you. I'm like, nah, man, we're about to leave. Go ahead. Like no big deal. This happens like in a tournament scene and guys that fish all the time. This is an everyday occurrence. This is like, waving at someone as they drive by you. Like it's not even a big deal. This is what normal people do, right? It's almost like passing down the freeway on the left-hand lane, right? There's still guys that want to drive in the left-hand lane and slow everyone down, but no big deal. So we decided to go around him. As we went around him, and like I said, we had been watching him. He's throwing at the bank. He's throwing a wacky rig. He has no whatever. He has not even a thought to throw on the other side of the boat. Well, I'm not gonna sit here and go 200 yards around him to go around him. One, and that's what I keep saying to everyone, like, hey, you were too close. And I always reply back, oh, if I'm too close, then he's too close, right? Because we're meeting each other down the bank. He is moving this way. I'm moving this way. Regardless of speed, we are still moving towards each other, right? I don't care if you're going 50 miles an hour or 30 miles an hour. You're still going to end up hitting each other, correct? Okay. So as we are coming closer together, we get to a certain point where now we could probably both cast at each other. And I'm like, okay, that's when I move. So I start heading around him. He didn't feel like going around me. I have zero problem with him not wanting to go around me. He wanted me to go around him. Okay? There's no rule on who says who has to go around each other, right? It's usually just a courteous thing. So I was being courteous and going around him. As I go around him, no, I am not going 100 yards on the other side of his boat. Why? I wouldn't, if he decided to go around me, I wouldn't want him going all the way out there. Why? We both had an opportunity, right? I gave him the inside lane. Like that's the courteous thing to do, right? I always tell everyone it's like meeting down the sidewalk. If you're meeting down the sidewalk and there's not enough room for y'all to go by, usually someone steps over. Well, I'm not going to let someone scoot over as I walk down the sidewalk and then yell at him for whatever, because he still tried to keep walking. Like, guys, this is really hard. It's hard for me to do this video. I'm not gonna lie, because this is like basic 101, like just logical thinking here. But I'm still gonna do the video. I'm gonna get through this. I promise. I'm gonna get through this. So I went around him. I'm not going 100 yards around him. I'm not. I'm gonna get right here because he could care less about casting out here. He said he did, and that's when we said, "Hey, man, for 30 minutes we've been watching. You hadn't made one cast out here, and all of a sudden now you're gonna cast out here? No, come on. That's just right then and there. I instantly know that now you're trying to start something, which whatever, right? And I'm not gonna put up with that. Like I can't. There's no reason to be like that. And that was my whole point. All it takes is one guy. There was no reason for that. I'm being courteous. I'm going around you. Now, some guy said, well, you casted too close to him. And I'm like, dude, I'm going around him on 10. Like, I got my trolling motor on high. I'm going around him. I've been making 1,000 casts a day. I'm going to make 5,000 more casts a day. I threw like 10 feet in front of the boat just because it's normal for me to cast. I'm casting right in front of the boat. Okay. If that's the one thing I did wrong, which like I said, I was being courteous and going around him. I gave him the inside. I gave him everything. And then, so I make a cast in front of my boat. Big deal. Like I'm going around him. I'm not even worried about where I'm casting. It's not even a big deal. I'm just trying to get around him. It's not like we sat there for 5 seconds fishing around him. We were there 3 seconds on the high going around him and get back to the bank and go down the bank. The same bank we were going down, the same bank he was going down. It's pretty simple. These guys, I think, thought, I don't know. In the video, I showed that this is not what happened, but obviously they can't either watch the whole video. I don't even want to say what else I think. It's not like I pulled up on him out of nowhere and started fishing next to him. Okay. That's not, it clearly shows in the video. That's not what we were doing. But they instantly go, since I was being courteous, they assumed that since I went on the outside of him, that I rolled up on him. No, we were meeting down the bank. He was going this way. I was going this way. I can't emphasize that enough. And apparently it's not obvious to these guys. Okay. We're meeting. It's not like he was sitting still, just fishing right there. He's slowly moving down the bank. We had watched him. Regardless of whether he had moved 100 yards, a half mile, whatever, he was moving this way down the bank. You're not going to sit there and throw in a foot of water with a wacky rig for 20 minutes at nothing. Like, you're going to continuously move down the bank. If you are, well, you're not, because I watched you come down the bank. You had moved from your previous position constantly as I had watched you for the last 20 minutes. Like I said. So that was the deal. I had a comment too. It's like they brought up the rules of Bass Champ Skeeter Owners Tournament. I love this stuff. This is the greatest part, the rules. Here's the rules. Apparently it says that you're not supposed to cast within 75 feet of another boat, and or if someone's anchored, fish within 50 foot of another boat. Those have been rules in there forever. Usually the casting one is not in there. That's a kind of I don't do that. Like, there's a reason for those rules. I'm going to put it that way. Okay. There's rules in fishing that are put in place, and you got to use some type of common sense in there. Okay. I'm going to throw you one. This is when power poles came out, because it used to be anchors, right? So if I'm fishing down the bank without my power poles down, okay, because it says if you are anchored, power poles and anchor, that if you're not allowed to fish with someone who is anchored, right? So if you're fishing down the bank or 5 foot of water or less, right? It's dead calm, and you're fishing around, and I drive up to you, don't fish, right next to you, put my power poles down and start casting. I don't have the right to tell you to leave. The rule states that guy is not allowed to fish with someone who is anchored. I put my power poles down. He didn't have his down. I put my power poles down and never casted around him. Waited till I put my power poles down, started casting, and go, now you have to leave because you're too close. Obviously, the rule was not meant for that, right? The rule was meant for if I'm in 5 foot of water, anchored down, and I'm not moving, I'm wanting to cast all around me, you shouldn't be allowed to come up that much distance from me. That's the obvious part of that rule. The other is if you're out there in the middle of the lake, right, and you're fishing and no one's around you, shouldn't be able to come up within 75 feet of you and start casting at you. That's obvious. Like, these are logical rules that I can try to bend, right, to make it sound like to bend, to make that rule sound, in favor of me. But that's not what we're trying to do. You got 2 guys going down the bank. It's an everyday occurrence. If this does not happen to you, you obviously don't fish a lot or whatever. This is normal for people fishing down the bank, is to meet and someone go around if you want to keep on going down the bank. It happens in every major tour I've ever fished. It happens on an everyday basis on the Opens, the Toyotas, the FLW Tour. I can't tell you how many times this happened. Normally, there's an exchange of, hey man, what's going on? You got him, blah, blah, blah. Like all the other encounters we had in the video. That's what went on. We talked. Hey man, like it was normal stuff, right? Normal talk on the deal. Nothing like this. So the rules state that. And I said, and some guy wanted to bring that up, which I then stated, well, then that guy was wrong for casting while we were too close to him. If I casted too close to him and he still made a cast, then he casted too close. Not to me, it says you're not allowed to make a cast. Well, he made a cast while our boat was too close. See, that's a dumb interpretation of the rule. So don't bring up something like an interpretation that obviously wasn't meant for that. You just sound dumb. So I said it. You do. You sound dumb. You're making a very dumb argument. So, like I said, that is hopefully a little more clarification of what went down. It's pretty simple, guys. Like, I don't know how else to explain it to where it wasn't. That's all it was. That's all it was. Two guys meeting down the bank and someone went around them. Like I said, maybe I'm going to have to get the other 25 encounters I've had this month where we do that. Most lakes. It's not a big deal. It's never a big deal, right? Sometimes you don't want to go fish behind someone, right? And so you just get up and leave. We do that a lot. Like if I saw someone throwing a topwater down the bank and I'm throwing a topwater down the bank, I'm not going to fish behind him, okay? He was throwing a wacky rig or something slow, and we're throwing swim jigs. It's totally, like, I don't mind going behind you. I'm going to catch a different fish than you're fishing for. Just like he's going to catch a different fish than I'm fishing for. Like, usually those are two different kinds of fish. So I'm not going to go, usually if I see someone flipping boat docks, I'm not going to sit there and go, yeah, I'm going to go right behind him and flip boat docks. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go somewhere else. But if I'm cranking boat docks and we meet on the same boat dock, you know, and one of us is like, hey, you know, I'll go around you. We go around. I'm like, no big deal. I'm cranking these boat docks. Like, I'm probably going to catch a different fish than he's fishing for. Right? So, but a lot of times I'm like, yeah, I might have got up to him like, hey, he's throwing a swim jig. I'm not going behind him. He just went down the bank a whole long ways with a swim jig. I'm not going to go behind that same guy. I go somewhere else. But for us, yeah, we didn't care. We did it all day long and caught fish right behind people, right? Not behind them. We didn't cut them off. We just met. One of us went around each other and we kept going. Pretty simple stuff, guys. I didn't think I was going to have to like explain this, but I did. And so now I can put this video in my replies to the 4 or 5 people who commented because I can't. I'm tired. I don't have time to argue with guys on the internet all day long that might fish once a year. I don't know. So old fart, here you go, old fart. Here's your video. You made it. You made it and got your own video just for you. You're not the only one. There's like 4 of y'all. 4 or 5. 3. I don't know. It's 90,000 views and there's like 4 of y'all. So, whatever. Not too bad. I'm out. Had enough. Hey,